up? It's AaroniMoses. And I'm gonna put up, it's AaroniMoses. And this video is called Savage Makers. Now, it's an extension of the part 1 and part 2 that I made about gangsters. And it's to give you guys a better understanding of where these people come from. Alright? So, if you live a certain lifestyle, let's say that you are just a normal, upstanding citizen. Well, not even that. We'll just say that if you smoke weed, and if you work a normal 9 to 5, you have a kid, and your friends are criminals. You ever think, what makes you want to kill people as a gangster? What makes you what is your motivation behind these things, or where do these things come from? Now, me, because I was a criminal and I was big into doing a lot of extremely illegal things, my thought is, what makes somebody so fucked up that they want to become a police officer? Because police officers are gangsters, alright? They're gangsters, bro. Police are gangsters. Alright, so the thoughts that you form about gangsters, the thoughts that you form about people who are thugs that are a part of criminal organizations is the same questions and thoughts that I entertain about police officers. What makes these people want to become police? And the answer is, these people, not police officers, gangsters. They come from places that generally give people PTSD from living in. They don't have 2 parents in their house. They live around extreme amounts of violence, and they experience the same issues that most people have, but there's no way out for them. And the problems in the hood for everybody are the same. For somebody like my mom, compared to somebody like one of my cousins, compared to somebody like one of my friends' brothers that are just in impoverished areas, and they all share the same issues. What makes one person want to become a gangster and another person decide to go to college and thrive in life? The answer is emotional support. Emotional support and instant gratification. I mean, of course, the lessons that they gain and how they perceive things. Now, a lot of people have personality disorders. That doesn't mean anything. Just because you're born a psychopath or a sociopath, that doesn't make you a bad person automatically. That just means that you can't relate to people in certain ways. When you look at Fortune 500 companies, when you look at people who own most of Newport, who own most of Jack Daniels, if you own the people who operate and are the CEOs of companies that kill millions of people a year, and you have to make decisions to make your product more effective, there's something inside you. What I'm saying is, somebody at the top of these dangerous ass companies is a sociopath. A lot of these companies, all right? So they didn't make those same choices. A lot of people that are rich or wealthy have come from impoverished areas. They just didn't make the decision, and some of them have made the decision to become gangsters. These people have problems that you relate to. The difference is that there is zero to no opportunity from where they come from. If you look at the history of maybe the Crips, the GDs, the Vice Lords, these older gangs, the common ground is all these people, well, a lot of the A lot of the gang members that started a lot of the OGs of these gangs come from the South. That's one thing that I found. I think Larry Hoover was from Mississippi. I think Jeff Ford was from Mississippi or Alabama. I think that Raymond Washington and Tookie Williams were both from the South. All these places that they already grew in had no fucking opportunity at all. These people were abused. These people were abused in every way. A lot of people that I've known have been abused. Most people, I think, go through abuse. I mean, I'm not a fucking doctor. Most people that I've met have gone through abuse, have been verbally, physically, emotionally abused. But when you take that, and when you take the instance that I gave you in my last video, not having a father, feeling like I had no opportunity to become a man. I had no point in my life where I was going to be initiated. Like in ancient civilizations, there was an initiation. In an African culture, you had to sit in the middle of a river naked for 3 hours. If you died, you died. If you didn't, we're going to take you you became a man. We're going to take you into this warm hut. We're going to burn sage until you have hallucinogenic trips. You're going to have this vision of what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life and what being a man is now. There's no initiation. There's no point where they say, look, today, America, you're 18, you're a man, you can go to prison, you can go to the army, you can sign your own contracts. That's not an initiation. That's not. High school is not an initiation. College is not an initiation. Gangster life gives you an initiation. Gangster life. We jump you in, you get blessed in. You get your colors. It starts, first you get the white bandana. When you do some gangster shit, when you get your first kill, now you get your blue bandana. Now you can get your tattoo. Now, these people are giving goals. They're giving gratification. They're giving admiration. They're giving a rank system. They're giving status. They're giving money. They're giving women. They're being bamboozled into thinking that there's something that they're not. They're gangsters, but they're not what they think they are. They don't have the love that they think they are. They do. If you die, look, if somebody told me, hey, Aaron, if you die, then I'm gonna go kill somebody else because you're dead. Because of some shit you did. Because of you killing somebody else, I'm gonna kill somebody, and then we're gonna make it more dangerous for your son to walk down the street. What the fuck do you think I'm gonna say? No, nigga, because I'm just gonna not do this shit in the first place. Well, you have to. Because if you don't, we're not gonna love you. And you're not gonna be protected, and you're gonna have to bring guns to school all the time. Bro, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. And the funny thing was, I was watching this video by Monster Cody. He was a member of the I think he was the 8. I don't know. I think he was an 8 tray. He was an 8 tray. Nah, he was a 60. I think. I don't remember. But he was saying that what's really ridiculous about the gang culture is, in his gang, he was a Crip. He was telling a story about a war that started between the 8 trays and the 60s. And he was saying these little kids, these people, 20 years later, are still killing each other for some shit they don't even understand. They don't know that they're killing somebody because of some shit that a teenager did 20 years prior. A teenager fucked this dude's girl. The fucking boyfriend from the rival hood walked over and killed his ass. Something that it's 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds and little kids and elderly people dying for some shit that a teenager did 20 years ago. Does that make any motherfucking sense? Like a lot of these, like in Chicago, these people, I mean, it's more organized, it's more business oriented, it's more, I mean, I'm not saying that the Chicago-based gangs are more justified in what they're doing, because I really don't fucking know. I just know the shit's stupid. I just know that you have to go through some issues, some deep-rooted issues. Not your mommy didn't love you and you were poor. Not that. I mean, a lot of that shit, it is. My mom's poor. She's never here because she's always at work. And I get to do whatever the fuck I want. And I don't have any fucking relatives. And I have to fend for myself. And I have all these violence. And you know what? When my best friends die, I don't feel anything. Because I see people get shot in the face all the time. Even just me. I left the south side of Chicago when I was about 8. 8 or 8. And when I was little, very little, I was about 3 or 4, walking down the street, I just got off the bus with my mom. And on my block, it was a dude, he got shot in the chest, and he was coughing up blood. And I was like, Ma, let's go in the house and call 911. And she said, he's coughing up blood. He's already dead. He's not gonna make it. He got shot in the chest like 3 times. If he's coughing up blood already, by the time the ambulance gets here, I'm sure somebody called the ambulance, but by the time they get here, he's gonna be dead. He's not gonna last very long. So, you know, it's not our thing. They're gonna fucking question us, blah, blah, blah. And the gangsters are gonna come looking for us. She didn't say that part. She didn't say those last 2 things. But, I mean, maybe that fucked me up a lot more than I think. But I was only 3 or 4. Maybe even younger than that. I don't remember exactly. But if I would have stayed in that environment, just with my personality, and I would have seen that, and that would have became a fucking yearly thing, even annually seeing these things, walking over dead bodies, not feeling anything, PTSD, just being a normal response to violence, to act violent, or to feel nothing, or to laugh, that fucks you up. That's not normal. That's like some third world shit, bro. You want to give to the you want to give a quarter, only a nickel a day, to these African kids. Why don't you fucking give back to the fucking east side of Detroit? Why don't you give back to the south side of Chicago? Why don't you give back to Compton? Why don't you give back to fucking North Memphis? Because these are the same things that they're experiencing. If you've never, some people have never even been to a funeral because they think just seeing a dead body and an unanimated fucking lifeless body will fuck them up. Blood coming out their chest, blood coming out their mouth, brain exposed, heart exposed, fucking burn marks in their fucking clothes. Their afro is on fire because they just got shot in the head. These people not only see this, but they do it. When I was in jail, a fucking dude was telling me about a story, and you could tell he wasn't lying. He was telling me about a story about when he walked up on this dude and he shot him in the head. And he laughed because he didn't know that if he walked up and shot him in the head close enough that his afro will catch on fire. And he laughed about that. And to see his eyes as he laughed, and to know that he felt good about it, and he felt that it was funny, it didn't really fuck with me because it's just how I am. But it gave me a really good look into what this person was. Not only that, looking at the statistics, 70% of inmates in Cook County, Illinois cannot read above a 4th grade level. You got about 1,000, 2,000 people coming in and out that motherfucker every day. 70% of them cannot read above a 4th grade level. 80% of Cook County inmates are black men. So you take these people who have the reading capabilities of a 4th grader, a lot of them are addicts or abuse victims. And if you're an addict, that means you have a certain level of emotional intelligence. So you take somebody with a 4th grade level reading, 4th grade reading level. You take an addict, which I feel like the average person in Cook County is an addict. So you take that, you take somebody with the emotional intelligence of a 12-year-old and the work experience of no work experience because there's no opportunities, that's been abused, that has PTSD, that doesn't have both parents, 70%, 50 or 60, 50 to 70, that's a lot. Percent of black men don't have fathers. No direction. People are telling you constantly that you're worthless. STDs, miseducation, and helplessness, overexposure to violence. I wrote an article that says that a lot of people in the hood do drugs and have sex because to cope. Just to cope, just to wake up and fall asleep and sleep through the night. All of these factors are savage makers. The police. Not knowing that if you put some shit over here and you go to work or school, you come back, that shit's gone. Your parents, the whole welfare system in the 80s. You can't live, you can't have opportunities if you have both parents in the house. We cannot allow you to have both working parents in the house, even though together you still don't make enough to pay the rent. You still don't make enough money to pay the rent and bills, so you need to not have a parent in the house so we can help you out. Having all these figures taken away from you. When I was growing up, there weren't that many black people on TV. So back then, I know there was fucking none. Not positively. All we had was Zach, the dancing Power Ranger. All we had was light-skinned fucking dudes. All we had was either light-skinned people that were lighter than me. They were being stereotyped. Or we had the darkest, biggest-lipped, widest-nosed, stereotypical motherfucker doing some dumb shit on TV. Or Maury, or Jerry Springer. With niggas on it, doing nigga shit. You don't have anybody to look up to but the person who is going to be in prison for most of your life, and when he gets out, give it a good 5-10 more years of killing motherfuckers and then get killed himself. What the fuck do you think that does to you? Me? I don't like people taking things from me because my punishment as a child was people taking things from me. So now, I don't give a shit when things leave. I don't give a fuck when people leave because that's just what I'm used to. But not everybody responds that same way. I disengage from an emotional relationship with material things because that was my punishment. But what if you do that with people? What if you do that through death? What if you do that through withholding education, withholding opportunity? That's why it's so significant when people make it out of these conditions and they actually become effective, productive people in this country. Because these savage makers, these police, these fucked up ass teachers, this fucked up ass public aid. In a lot of states, you're not allowed to get public aid if you have committed certain offenses. You can't get jobs. You can't go to school. And yeah, that's your fault. That's your fault. You shouldn't have had a kilo in the trunk. You shouldn't have been shooting at people. You shouldn't have been doing all of these things. And it's definitely the environment. So before you judge a person, we all have choices. But when survival kicks in, and this person is only conditioned to think so deeply into the future. Because as a gangster, when they were doing it when they were teenagers, they were congratulated for it. So as far as them thinking about the consequences, and especially when they cling to that piece of them, As a teenager, that's why teenagers are the perfect gangsters, because teenagers are less equipped to think about consequences and think about their futures. So when you take these things that they're congratulated for, the things that naturally make them a teenager, and you put them in a 30-year-old motherfucker, you have to understand that they're limited. They can't fucking read. A 5th grader, they're not smarter than a 5th grader reading a fucking book. They're addicts. They have the emotional intelligence of a 12-year-old. And they've never had to go to an interview because they could just sell some dope and be making the same money as a doctor. They just don't have credit. That's why they can't get out. Or they spend it because they don't think they're going to be alive another year to fucking even consider saving you. They don't know that to open a liquor store or a corner store only costs less than $100,000, which I know 3 fucking dope dealers will make $100,000 in less than a year. Easy. Definitely. Probably in a quarter. They don't even know what a quarter is. A fiscal quarter. Year. Whatever. That's not what I meant. You know what I mean. But that's just to give you a little piece of it, man. If you want to know more, I can see if I could set up an interview, some kind of phone interview, some kind of Skype interview with one of my many gangster-ass motherfucker friends. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to the Crips. Shout out to the Bloods. Shout out to the Gangster Disciples. Shout out to the Black Gangster Disciple Nation. Shout out to the Vice Lords. Shout out to all my Four Corner hustlers out there. Shout out to the Latin Kings. Shout out to all my SDs. Shout out to all my maniacs. Shout out to everybody. If I forgot you, I mean, if I said one of those 4 things and you're not that, you're somewhere under that. You're somewhere in that umbrella. All the Insanes and all the Imperials and all the Renegades and all of that. Shout out to everybody, man. I mean, not encouraging it, but yeah, that's it, man. It's Aaron motherfucking Moses. Socialize with me. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter even, Snapchat, email. Let's get it, man. Peace.